Hello and welcome to our Carnivore Q&A Thursday night live. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be answering questions that you have. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Well, before we jump into it and I go around and introduce everyone, I just wanted to get this going so we can get some questions in the queue. You got to post your best questions in order to win. First off, we're going to give away a Healing Humanity shirt in the color blue. So get ready with your best question. Post it in the live chat right now. Use hashtag ribeye for a chance to win the shirt, and we'll do a drawing in just a little while for that, and then we'll do another drawing even after that. How's everyone doing tonight? Adam, how's it going?
Fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm carnivore. Couldn't be doing any better.
That's right.
Lynn at Midlife Carnivore, how's it going?
It's going great.
And Renee, Eating Meat to Walk.
Amazing.
And Ashley representing with the huge banner in the background.
Yeah, getting psyched for the Columbus, Ohio meetup. 2 days.
2 days. Is that really 2 days from now?
2 days.
Yep.
Is there still an opportunity if people want to join us in Ohio?
There is. We actually, our venue has plenty of seats. We have tickets still for sale. The VIP ones are all sold out, but we do still have the regular tickets available, general admission, and it's going to be an amazing event. That general admission ticket does get you lunch as well. And yeah, great day.
Dr. Kiltz will be there as well. I apologize. I got to update my graphic here. Jen will be there too.
Most importantly, Jen, right? There you go.
Right. So there's still time if you guys want to join us in Ohio. There's a link in the description, healinghumanity.movie/events. Don't miss out. It's going to be fun. I'm worried, Ashley, because I know what always happens. It's going to be a couple days later and we're going to get 100 emails. I didn't know there was something going on in Ohio. Why didn't you tell me? So
I know. I always hate that too. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Let them know. Yeah.
And besides this meetup, what else do we got coming up? There's low carb for better health. Adam, do we have some coupon codes for some of these other ones coming up?
Good question. We have coupon code for Hacker Health, which is HH Live. So use that code for $100 off. We're having a fundraising dinner down there that Scott Everson from Meat Stock is actually throwing for us. And literally anybody that you've ever seen in the carnivore space is going to be at this fundraising dinner for us. So we're really appreciative of Scott doing that, and can't go without mentioning Meat Stock next year, 2026 in Gatlinburg. And you can use code HH Live with Meat Stock tickets as well. And that's $50 off with that one.
Awesome. And one last announcement before we jump into your questions. If you have found healing on a proper human diet, we want to hear your story. Not only are we filming this documentary, we're also filming a series and we're writing a book. And we need more stories. There's so many people out there in the world that are hopeless, and your story could give them hope. If you're interested in sharing, go to healinghumanity.movie/testimony. Completely free, takes a minute or two. You can fill out the form and share your story and possibly inspire someone to find healing. And the last thing I wanted to say, I forgot to mention earlier, for those that are still jumping on here as we're getting ready, hashtag ribeye, post your best question, and you also need to follow each of the individuals you see here on the screen in order to qualify to win the shirt. So Lynn, Ashley, Renee, Adam, their YouTube channels are all linked to below. So make sure to do that. And then, Adam, we got a big thing coming up next week. Do you mind talking about that for a minute while I make sure my mic is working properly?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. What is it? What's going on next week? Oh, yeah. We are going to publicly premiere the first official trailer for Healing Humanity. It's not an official trailer, but it's our first trailer that's an official one. The first one was a teaser, and it's going to be on Dr. Ken Berry's channel. So we're super excited for that.
Super
Wednesday. So I know a lot of people are excited about the documentary. We're excited about it. This is going to be a huge milestone, and hope you guys will join us with Dr. Ken Berry on Wednesday. Come see the trailer, see it live with the world on Dr. Berry's channel exclusively. All right. Adam, is my mic a little bit better now?
It is. It sounds great, man. You sound very suave.
All right. All right. So we're gonna take your questions. Any questions you have, don't be shy. Post with hashtag ribeye, and we'll answer your question. Let me see where we're at here on the chat. Do we have some questions yet?
Yeah, we do.
Bev is asking, anyone going to the Ohio meetup Saturday? I'll be there.
Right
I'll
here.
be
Jen will be there. Ashley will be there.
Yep.
Excited.
Uh,
We had a
Anthony-
few more people get their tickets even just today, so it's not too late. You can still get them.
My husband's already complaining that we're not going
Oh, I know. Hey, but you'll be there the next month.
next month in Nashville. Yeah.
right. All right, we've got our first question of the night comes from Dawn Hoover. Kind of struggling with insomnia. Want it to stop. Help. What should I do?
Well, circadian rhythm and natural melatonin maybe are a couple of things. The red light therapy at night can be helpful to boost your natural melatonin. Maybe not eating too late so you don't have your gut busy with digesting food, keeping your metabolism up. But I think everything that I hear from people about circadian rhythm is get up early anyways. Get your eyes exposed to early morning light. Like if you wear, glasses, take them off. And, and I know Dawn has vision problems if this is the Dawn that I'm familiar with, but let this early morning sun get into your eyes. Any other, but those are the things that I can think of.
Yeah.
Good sleep hygiene, turning electronics off an hour before bedtime because it stops that blue light from disrupting our circadian rhythm too.
Yeah.
We actually turn off all the lights and we go by candlelight about 2 hours before bed just to do that. And then magnesium supplements. Sometimes, I take magnesium to sleep as well.
Yeah.
I second those things, magnesium and
vitamin D at night too can be helpful with sleep.
Yeah. The only other thing that's really helped me, and this really depends on what stage you're in your journey, because when I first started Carnivore, I was not exercising, but I am now. And when I exercise, my sleep is noticeably better. Like I've logged it. I've kept very good track of it. If I miss a day of exercising, I'll wake up at 3 a.m. I'll be like, that's because I didn't exercise before. And sometimes it's even just like going for a little hike or a little bit of walk, nothing too strenuous, but it definitely is noticeable. I think a lot of people on Carnivore have problems waking up. Just it's like a math equation with our energy. We have a lot of excess energy on Carnivore because we're not processing all of that crazy food that we used to multiple times a day. You got a little bit of an overage of energy for some people that cause them to wake up as well. So that might be something to consider. All right. Thank you for that question. Drop to Zero. Hey, Carrie, we're coming to see you on Saturday. If not tonight, can someone please help explain why I get so much brain fog still on Carnivore? Serious inability to focus.
Very hard to say, but from my experience, it could be high histamine foods, carnivore foods, because I know that with me, and if you happen to be histamine sensitive, like I am, the brain fog could be pretty serious. And when I went low histamine carnivore, it really helped with the brain fog. Could also maybe be not enough fat, but I would say try a low histamine approach and make sure that you're not eating higher histamine carnivore foods, which is like, aged or smoked foods, whether it be beef, meat or cheese, the egg whites, pork, sometimes even sadly bacon can cause a problem. So I would maybe and you want to just try one thing at a time just to test it out and see if it might be a histamine issue. But when I did low histamine carnivore, my brain fog significantly improved.
Good stuff. All right. And then Marla has a question for Lynn. Can you talk about using Carnivore for histamine and how to start? I've seen your video about histamine intolerance and would like to know what to eat also to lose weight. I'm a bit overwhelmed.
So if you saw my video, you can definitely see what to eat, what not to eat. You can use the, in the description of the video, I put the link to the histamine list, but I would say start out with going lion, do a low histamine lion diet. And that way you're eliminating other things. So you can do beef and lamb, the ruminant meats, make sure it's really fresh. And just do a lion diet to start out, and maybe for a month, and see how you feel. But you need to lower the, I talk about the histamine bucket. And so you're feeling symptoms once your bucket is full. So you have to avoid the things that trigger histamine release, or the things that have more histamine in them, in order to let your histamine bucket drain. And so the only way to do that is to avoid those foods. So, and if you're extra sensitive, you may not be able to even do ground beef. You might have to just do steaks, but I would say test it out and see. And you may need to freeze leftovers if you're incredibly sensitive as well, instead of just putting them in the fridge. So, but I would say lion diet. And then to lose weight, I would mess around, keep your body guessing with regard to fat and, the quantity of food you eat and the ratios between fat and protein, so that you don't get stuck. And because our bodies really want to just kind of find a set point. And so if you want to avoid having that happen and lose, keep your weight loss going, you need to kind of mix it up, and don't let your body get settled into a particular amount of intake.
All right. We have a question specifically for Adam. I've had all the symptoms of flu, but with an unbelievable amount of gas instead of the usual mucus dump. Have you heard of this before? Suggestions for the gas.
That's interesting. I don't know if I have a solution for that or not, but
you have one piece of advice though that you always share,
which is
never
trust a fart.
Oh, true. Right. Well, we know Cranky Carnivore Cutler, so he's definitely outside of the first 30 days.
Never trust a carnivore fart within the first 30 days.
So I would wonder about, what has changed in, and maybe nothing's changed in your diet, but maybe you got food from a different source, and the food, is grown at a different ranch, and it's been eating something that, your body's not happy with. You just kind of have to investigate and look back and see what has changed. There's always a possibility it could be the flu. So we never want to just jump to the conclusion that it's necessarily your diet. People do get exposed to things, so it potentially could be the flu. Hard to say.
Yeah, I just recently went through a bout of what felt like the flu. It was food poisoning, and it caused a gas as well. But that's a bacterial issue and problem with the food poisoning. So you can't rule that out either. What was you going to say, Renee?
I was just going to say, I think we all get this. We're really healthy on carnivore, and we really don't get sick like we used to get sick, but we still can get sick. And I think that we forget that. And a lot of the times it has nothing to do with the diet. We're still living in this world that's full of germs.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And suggestions for the gas. If you're miserable, take Gas X. It's like medicine can still be helpful. And if you're suffering and you need to, take the Gas X and see if that helps. And, as you're working on trying to figure out what's causing the problem, but, I don't think we have to completely avoid medication if we need to take something in the short term to help us for the symptom relief.
And we've got Bev. I'm excited to come to my first meetup in Ohio.
Awesome.
We're excited for you, Bev. Especially if this is your first meetup. You're gonna be hooked. It's so much fun being at these meetups with a bunch of like-minded individuals. The carnivore energy going on. You're coming to a good one. Looking forward to meeting you there. Sabrina said, "I'm in week 2 and my legs are very achy. What will help?"
Water and electrolytes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The most common thing to happen when you're transitioning is especially if you're losing some fat, but your body's changing, you tend to lose more fluid. So you got to drink extra fluid, and particularly sodium, especially, I don't know if you went cold turkey carnivore or if you transitioned over, but we don't realize in the standard American diet how much sodium we actually get. And so you have to really purposefully make sure you're getting plenty of sodium. But if you can get a good quality electrolyte, that will help with that. You can take magnesium, which would be, take magnesium in the evening, but fluid and sodium, magnesium, and all of that will help.
All right. And we've got a question, hashtag ribeye. For those of you that are just jumping on, we're giving away a Healing Humanity shirt. So post your best question right now with hashtag ribeye. How do I get raw milk in the city?
I buy mine in the city at Sprouts. It says not for human consumption. It's sold to, it's legal in Arizona, but some states aren't. So they sell it not for human consumption, only for pets. But
Really?
I can get it there.
Go to a pet store.
I've not seen it.
So interesting. Yeah, and it may vary depending on where you live. Like how did you learn that you could do that, Renee?
Well, actually it's Bella's trick. I watched a video with her, and in California, it's not legal to have raw dairy. And so Sprouts, like seriously, all the dairy. And then at the very bottom is a row, and at the very back is where they put it, because that way it's there. You have to look for it. That's how I find it. I don't know other states, but in Arizona, we have a dairy down the street too that sells raw milk, but I can get a lot of my stuff at Sprouts.
That's a good tip. My wife used to be part of a co-op, and I wish I knew all the details of it. I don't, but she used to be part of a co-op. And so several people would go in together and order it kind of in bulk and split it up. And that was a little easier way. She still had to drive 15, 20 minutes or so to get it, but one person would go get it, and then they'd all meet at a house or location and divvy it up.
All right. Good stuff. We have a question from Sandra, hashtag ribeye. What are your thoughts on lipotoxicity?
I mean, it's a real thing. You have to eat. I suspect it's difficult to get there because fat is so satiating. But when it comes to, you guys correct me if I'm wrong here, but with the Randall cycle, your body and your cells will use either glucose or fat, and they're going to shut the door when they've got too much, whether it be glucose, whether it be fat. And so the fat, if you get too much fat, the fat has to go someplace. It has to, in your body. So I don't know a ton about it, and I don't know if you guys know more about it, but I know that it's something to at least be aware of, that it's possible.
All right. Oh, we got a lot of questions tonight. Let's see what else we got here. All for Jesus Carnivore. Helen, hashtag ribeye. My best friend's daughter was diagnosed with breast cancer and was put on chemo. What is the best video I should send her to watch? There's lots of videos out there. I'll try to take this one quick. But one thing I would suggest, Helen, is, and anyone watching this, if you were diagnosed with cancer or have a loved one that is, you can actually just Google Professor Thomas Seyfried, Boston College, and his contact information comes up, and you're more than welcome to email it. In fact, he encourages it, and he's got a whole team of people, and they will send you out a packet of information about cancer as a metabolic disease with metabolic treatments. And in some cases, if you tell them the type of cancer, in this case, breast cancer, they'll send you even more specific information. So I would start there. And then the next thing in terms of like a video, the advice I always give people is search around and try to find something that she'll be able to relate to. So it may take a little bit of research to find someone that's going through breast cancer and have done some videos. But if you can find something close that she can relate to, I think that'll be the best way to inspire her. I don't know if you guys have any.
You have videos on your channel.
Yeah, I did a video, one that might be good, actually. I did a cancer roundtable video, and that was with Professor Thomas Seyfried and several other individuals that were using metabolic therapy for their cancer treatment. So that'd be a good one, too. If you search for it, I can add it to the chat here if I can find it. But it's just Professor Seyfried Cancer Roundtable video.
Yeah, I would think hearing stories of people who healed would be really inspiring for someone who's just gotten diagnosed.
Yeah. Oh, on that front, there's one other resource I can recommend too. It's Cancer Evolution. And they did a documentary, and they have a whole channel on their YouTube channel. They have a whole playlist of cancer thrivers, and it's just story after story after story of people that are using metabolic therapy for their cancer treatment. So if you look for that, Helen, Cancer Evolution, like revolution, evolution, it kind of uses the R in the middle, Cancer Evolution on YouTube. All right, we've got a celebrity has entered the chat. Bill Knott. If you guys aren't watching Bill, you're missing out. Bill Knott on YouTube. Yeah, Bill's in the trailer that we're going to be sharing on Dr. Barry's channel in a week from now. So for those of you that just jumped in and didn't hear the news, we have a big milestone coming up with our documentary, and we're going to be going live with Dr. Ken Berry on Wednesday to reveal to the world, public debut premiere of our new Healing Humanity trailer. So I hope you guys will join us there, and you'll get a little glimpse of Bill Knott and many other individuals that are in that trailer. Carnivore Cash says, I've been reminded on a few recent videos that too much protein on carnivore gets converted into glucose by the liver. Any comments on this?
It's true.
I guess that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're concerned, I would say, maybe get a continuous glucose monitor, which a lot of people are using now, and it'll tell you whether or not you're getting spikes of, your blood sugar spiking too much. Renee and I learned something really cool. Maybe I'll share this because we have a keto study club that on Tuesdays that we both participate in on both of our channels. And we learned something very interesting about glucose spikes this past Tuesday. And that is that if your blood sugar, every time your blood sugar spikes over, what was it, 154?
Yeah, 154.
Okay, so you get this glucose spike, and it causes damage inside your body to the endothelium, which is the lining of everything in your body, your blood vessels, your organs, your everything. Causes damage to that lining. This is what we learned. It takes 6 days for that damage to repair.
Wow.
So for
No
people,
cheat days.
yeah. So people who are getting glucose spikes, whether it be because you're allowing yourself a cheat day, or if it's like you're concerned, maybe eating too much protein and you're inadvertently getting a glucose spike, it actually takes 6 days. So if somebody is, let's just say it's not you, Carnivore Cash, it's someone who's actually giving themselves a cheat day once a week. Your body is in constant state of trying to repair the damage because it takes 6 days. So I would say a continuous glucose monitor would be a really good way of determining whether or not you're having glucose spikes from too much protein or for whatever reason. And just keep in mind that every spike takes 6 days to repair.
And I'm going to be the guinea pig for our keto study group and put a continuous glucose monitor on because I'm really high protein. I had to fix my metabolism that I destroyed. So we're going to see, I worry, like if I, when I eat a huge meal of protein, like if I'm messing with my glucose. So I'm going to start wearing it as soon as I can get my husband to put it on me because I don't like needles.
Yeah, we were pretty surprised to learn that this past Tuesday. It's like, whoa.
All right, we're almost at the time where we're going to do a drawing for the Healing Humanity shirt. So get your questions in quick. #ribeye. Question from Bev: why is it against for humans to eat raw milk? I don't get it. I'll just say real quick, Bev, I don't get it either. Cigarettes are legal, alcohol is legal, but raw milk, nope, we can't do that. It just shows you what a backwards, broken system we're operating under.
Yep.
All right, and we got another question from Carnivore Lake Life. Do iodine tablets need to be prescribed? I've looked for some over the counter, but all I can find is kelp supplements. Would this be a good idea? I'm trying to stay low histamine.
iodoral is the one that I use. And if you're, and iodine itself is higher histamine, but so like I couldn't do the Lugol's. When I did Lugol's, my throat would swell up instantly, but the iodoral tablets, I, for some reason, can handle those better. And you can get those on Amazon. You can get those just, I think I just order them from Amazon. But there's also a lab called Kahala Labs, which has even cheaper tablets.
Yep. I would definitely caution you to get tested to find out if you actually need iodine or not. I tried to self-medicate myself and wasn't a good thing. I didn't have a good reaction to that much iodine. And I broke out in hives actually. And it was pretty painful, and it lasted for a few days. And it took a little bit more experimentation to find out exactly what was causing the hives, because I coincidentally had food poisoning at the same time. So, but I narrowed it down that it was actually the iodine that caused that issue. So,
and the Kahala Labs, you can order an iodine loading test for, I think, $70 and actually test. And my understanding too is that it's really not advisable to just go from doing no iodine to getting a full dose. If you are going to do it, obviously, like Adam said, make sure you're deficient and work up to a dose.
We've got a $20 super chat from Chris Stearns. Thank you, Chris. You are too generous. His question is, does anyone have the same reaction at the butcher's now? Like my sugar junkie former self did walking into Quick Trip, which is a convenience store. It's pretty weird when I think about it.
Yep.
I would say I'm definitely a kid in the candy store at the butcher shop for sure. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it. All right, question from Joe. Would extra tallow and butter help with upper GI microbe overgrowth that may cause the extra gas?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
yeah. It could potentially help with a microbe overgrowth. It really just depends on what the microbes are, I guess, but not sure about the gas part.
Yeah, I would think that the consistency of the fat would be a factor there, because a lot of people will have maybe a little extra GI distress if the fat is rendered versus, and Dr. Kiltz always says try to do the raw fat. So I don't know if that's something that you can handle unless maybe you cut it into little pill-sized, portions and just swallow them. But you could try that and see if that helps. But the GI microbe overgrowth, I mean, are we talking about SIBO? Probably. It sounds like SIBO. So, I mean, you'd have to just try it. But I'd stick with non-rendered fat.
All right. And then Sandy said, I have gallstones, not from carnivore, but found out before I started. Is it still safe for me to eat carnivore?
Okay. So here's what I would say as a former GI nurse. And Renee, you're a nurse too, so you can tell me what you think. So the fact that you have gallstones currently, you're going to stimulate your gallbladder to kick into gear when you're eating higher fat. So I would say go slow with ramping up the amount of fat that you're having, because as your gallbladder starts working, it potentially could try to push those gallstones out. And be careful, because you could end up with an obstruction. You don't want that. That could be a life-threatening emergency. And I know from firsthand, with 4 days in the hospital after a gallstone obstructed me and ended up affecting my liver. Not good. But so I would say if you're going to do it, ramp up. And unfortunately, we probably would have never gotten gallstones if we hadn't gone low fat, because your gallbladder needs something to do. And without something to do, we end up getting gallstones and, sludge and all of that. So I'd say start out real slow. Any other thoughts on that one, Renee?
No, that's exactly it. The biggest complication when you start eating fat is obstructing if you already have gallstones. So I agree that you just want to watch it. And if you end up with severe pain or something changes, go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ignore it, especially if you have gallstones. Don't ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ignore it. And gallbladder pain can be different. And so usually typical gallbladder pain will come in waves, but a obstruction will be constant pain that will not stop. It doesn't come in waves. It's just constant. So you want to know the difference between those, but definitely I agree with Renee. Don't ignore it if you are having symptoms.
All right. We're going to do a giveaway right now for the Healing Humanity shirt. And while we're doing that, if you want to post #life with your next best question, let me show this here real quick. We're going to be giving away a membership to healinghumanity.life, 30 days free. We do about 12 Zoom calls a week, doctor, experts, individuals. We have our Inspire Together call. We just finished that earlier today. And it's a whole community to help you on a path to healing. We're going to give away a 30-day free membership to that. So start posting your questions with #life. And we will now give away the Healing Humanity shirt. Here we go. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is Sparky XYZ YXZ. Adam, how can Sparky YXZ claim their prize?
Well, Carrie, Sparky XYZ can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will send you your shirt promptly. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right, we've got the next giveaway running right now. So #life with your best question. We've got Rock Roll. I had the great pleasure of meeting Carrie and Adam in Montana, July 4th. I have a great picture of us three. I'll send it to you. Also had a nice talk with Adam, wishing him all the luck with the movie You Two Good Guys.
Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate that, brother.
Thank you so much.
Love
that wasn't even a question, but we appreciate the nice comment. Here we go from Chris Parker, looking to see if I could get a personal carnivore coach. We know some carnivore coaches. Been doing the diet for a few months, but need advice or a person to go with. Questions, advice. Who do you recommend?
We happen to have a carnivore coach on the call, Renee.
Yeah, but this carnivore coach is devoted 40 hours a week to a company that I'm doing keto coaching for. But I would say Coach Lisa.
I would say Coach Lisa too, but I wanted to absolutely shout you out. Now, if they wanted to go through your company, is that possible?
My company is Berta Health, and there's a lot of insurance companies who actually pay for them. And you can get a health coach, and they can walk you through it. But, if it's just one-off questions and you don't need total support, reach out to me on Instagram. I'll gladly, I never turn anybody away who's looking for information, because I feel like I owe it back to the world for the healing that I've had.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't officially coach, but I do have people that reach out to me, and I worked with several people kind of extensively even. But Coach Lisa is awesome.
Coach Lisa can be found at, lifebacksystem.com. And if you need just a little bit of assistance here and there, you could join our membership site as well. Coach Lisa's in there quite often, and we've got experts and doctors that come on there as well. So that could be a potential path as well. Hotel Diablo, #ribeye, how to get over procrastination when it comes to going out and exercising, or is it just laziness?
Mm-hmm. That's a great one. That's funny. I find myself in that same position sometimes. So I'll give you the same advice I give myself. And that is, for me, it works if I have something scheduled. So I've been, going to a Taekwondo class. If I don't have anything scheduled and it's not, something I'm setting on my calendar, I tend to just let other things get in the way, and that procrastination / laziness may get right into it. But if I have something scheduled, that's really helpful for me. The other thing is if you have an accountability partner, some other person that's doing it with you. So if you can find a neighbor, friend, family member, somebody who will commit to doing that exercise with you at the same time, that's also very helpful, because then you hold each other accountable too, and that's super helpful.
Yeah, I don't know how long you've been carnivore, but I know it took me about 5 months or so before my body even wanted to exercise. And if you're earlier on in the process, it may be that you're healing. And like Carrie always says, it's hard to exercise when you're sick, and you kind of don't want to do that. But I know that I started wanting to exercise about 5 months in. And it's like my muscles had extra energy that I needed to do something with them.
Good stuff. All right. Question from 1234 something. How long will it take for Carnivore to clear my acne?
I noticed a great improvement within the first month.
Yep, same here. 30 days is usually the marker for most people with acne, but there's a couple caveats with that on the carnivore diet. So if you're doing dairy, specifically, that can cause issues for people with acne, and like cheese or milk, things like that. And then also, Lynn can probably speak to this a little bit too. I'm pretty sure that high histamine foods also cause reactions in the skin that can appear as acne as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They can, and not for everybody. But I would say, follow what Adam's saying and get rid of the dairy first. And if you're still having problems, then look into low histamine lion diet. And for me, it was rosacea, but it's still a skin issue. And it was, the low histamine lion diet that cleared up my rosacea.
Yeah, I suppose I should have caveated mine with I was lion diet for the first almost year of my carnivore experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard to say if it was histamine for you too, then.
My daughter, Emma, I think it was about a month for her when she started noticing. And same thing, like Adam mentioned, anytime she has too much cheese, she starts to break out again as well. So going closer to lion seems to really help for that, for sure. All right. Next question we have is from Aunt B. At Lynn and Renee. I was listening on Tuesday and may do a CGM myself.
Let us know how it goes. I'm curious.
Yeah, definitely let us know how it goes. Yeah, Aunt B pops in on our keto study club a lot.
#life. What are your thoughts on a person doing carnivore, red meat heavy, with minor alpha-gal levels from a former tick bite?
Could be a problem with meat aversion. I mean, because that's the whole alpha-gal thing, is you tend to be meat aversion. It's something you can't. I don't know if you can control. Have you guys heard of anybody with alpha-gal actually getting over their meat aversion?
I don't know. That was the same thing that for a while it was the Texas tick thing that people, I kept hearing about it, but it kind of faded off, and I never really heard that much more about it.
Yeah, I would think that you would need to start out with other forms of meat. And I would be curious to know whether or not the meat aversion would improve, because it's a different thing. Like I know Carrie, Jen had meat aversion, but it was because she was a vegetarian, right? She doesn't have the alpha-gal, right?
Right.
Yeah. I would love to hear like how that goes. Like if you try it and see if you actually start having improvement. Because I have not heard of anybody who has done that experiment, but maybe start with non-red meat carnivore foods and see how you do.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, chicken, fish, turkey,
That's carnivore nightmares getting alpha-gal. Can't imagine.
Yeah.
David has a question. My wife was just diagnosed with fatty liver. How long on the carnivore diet to see a change in her liver ultrasound?
That's a great question. I'm actually took as part of my training right now. There were studies that were done, and some people showed reversal of that in as little as 6 days. Now, I'm sure that's not normal at all, but yeah, it definitely can happen very rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe don't get another ultrasound for maybe 6 months just to give it the time. But you're right, Adam. The liver can repair itself pretty quickly.
All right. And Tanya, what could be causing my blood pressure to be high? Been carnivore for 2 months.
Stop watching Homestead How. No, I'm kidding.
You know, I see this a lot. My mom had dealt with high blood pressure issues for a long time too, but you got to think about it. It's been years that you have, you know, probably been eating a sad diet and doing harmful things to your body. And 2 months, although it's great, it's, you know, you're on a journey and a journey to healing. It may take some more time for that to come off. And I know my mom wanted to stop all our meds right away. And she, you know, it's just obviously that's highly advised against, and no, but it was, she couldn't do that. She had to work with her doctor and peel off the meds that she was on slowly over time. And she kept track of her numbers daily, but it did eventually go down. And I've heard sometimes for certain people, it's very quick. Others, it takes a while. Again, you have to watch your body, but that's something that you just need to pay attention to.
Yeah, if it stays high, and I would definitely, you know, see a doctor about it. I guess it depends too on how high it is, but you know, your body's going through a change, and so it could be a stress issue with the changes going on in your body right now.
Yeah, some people are sensitive to sodium as well, so that's another thing to look
Yeah,
at.
could be too much sodium. Even though, yeah, like you said, some people are sensitive. A lot of people, it doesn't matter, but it could be too much sodium. So maybe try backing off of the salt and see whether or not your blood pressure goes down.
And remember that cortisol levels, which are caused by stress, not sleeping well, not getting any movement or exercise. I mean, it's not just, our blood pressures are not just from what we put into our bodies. They're also from how we live. So I'd work on your stress levels and work on getting really good sleep.
It's great. Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah. And initially your kidneys are working a little harder than they usually would with all of the protein, and kidneys can affect your blood pressure as well.
Beverly has a great question. Can you eat too many hamburgers in a day? 8 to 10.
Wow.
I guess it depends on the size.
Or, yeah.
They smash burgers?
Sliders.
I'm impressed.
That's pretty
Can
good.
you eat too many?
Yeah, it just depends on how big they are, right? Because if they're quarter pounders, that's, 8 of them is 2 pounds of meat. So yes, some people can handle that. Others, if it's a pound patty, that's a lot of meat.
Wow, that is. I mean, I think if you're feeling okay, it's probably all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things with carnivore. It's like when you get satiated, you eat enough meat, you're just like, I don't feel like eating anymore. There's no guessing game like there used to be before, when the sugar addiction and just always craving for more kind of thing.
Yeah. And sometimes we go through phases where we're just really more hungry than usual. And other times where you're not hungry, you just fast.
Hey, we got a super chat from Spark YXZ.
Oh, that's who just won the t-shirt.
There you go.
Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate the super chats. Every penny from those goes 100% towards our Healing Humanity project. Been a carnivore for 3 months, and recently I've been getting a bruise for no reason. They don't hurt, but it's just weird to get them when I didn't hurt myself. Is it due to vitamin deficiency?
The nurse in me wants to tell you that if you're getting bruises for no reason, that you probably should go see your doctor and get some labs drawn and make sure that everything's okay. that's an alarming, I've not heard of carnivores getting bruises for no reason, and especially with no vitamin, even with vitamin deficiency. So like my gut says that you probably should have some blood tests done to make sure that everything's okay.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay. PR64, any supplements other than electrolytes that work well for keto carnivore?
Most people need vitamin D.
Yep.
And a lot of people take magnesium, like magnesium glycinate. And a lot of people will take some Lugol's iodine.
I take fish oil too, because I have to eat so much fish to get my protein. So I take fish oil so I can make sure I get those too.
Okay. So I don't know. I take some supplements because I have the MTHFR variant and I don't break down homocysteine very well, which affected my folate levels. So I take homocysteine supreme, which is methylated, folate, and a bunch of other B vitamins in the form that I can handle. And so some people, I heard that about half of people in the population do have that variant. So just be aware that that's a possibility, that you could potentially have that genetic variant and may need to take a methylated B vitamin or methylated folate vitamin. So just get your labs done and find a provider that will work with you.
I have a quick question. I went in yesterday and got my CAC scan done. Has anyone here on the panel done that yet?
Nope.
Nope, not yet.
I'll be sharing the results, but it was surprisingly and incredibly inexpensive and easy, to the point that I'm a little frustrated and annoyed that I didn't do this years ago, because I was on statins in my 30s very foolishly for years and years and years. It was $50 to do this test. I always thought when I heard CAC test, like I'm going to have to get my cardiologist and get a referral, and it's probably some big MRI machine and probably costs a whole bunch of money. $50 out of pocket, and I was literally in and out in like 10 minutes. You just sit on this machine and they scan you, and tomorrow or the next day I'll have the results. So I'll be sure to share. I know Dr. Ovedi is a big promotes getting your CAC scan done. People that are nervous on carnivore, it's kind of nice to have that peace of mind. So I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I did something very similar. It was called a Viascan. It's similar, but it'll actually detect the plaque and stuff like that in your heart and veins. And prior to carnivore, I did have it wasn't a big score, but it was a little bit. This last time, after being carnivore 2 years, it showed up as 0. It was pretty fun talking to him. He was all excited about it. He was like, "You went from good to great. I don't know how, but you went there's 0 there." I was like,
I love it. I love it.
You're like, carnivore.
Oh, I did. I told him. He was like, "Well, you should probably have some veggies." But
yeah. No, wait a minute. Never mind. You're not doing well.
Veggies in my score fire.
Anyway, but that was his quote. Good to great.
Love it.
Thinking for myself has a question. If you have more fat than protein, will that help stop the glucose spike?
Yep. It should help, definitely. Yeah. And if you pair fat with protein, if you're worried about protein causing too much of a spike, if you pair it with fat, that'll help.
All right, good stuff. All right, before we go to the next question, there's a lot of new people on since we started. And when we first started, we had a quick announcement. We are going to be in Ohio this weekend. Healing Humanity. Dr. Kiltz is going to be joining us, and Jen's going to be there as well as everyone you see there on the screen.
And Carnivore's grandma.
Yeah, Robin Heron. Shout out Robin Heron. Carnivore's grandma is going to be joining us too, sharing her story. August 23rd, which is Saturday, 2 days from now. Link in the description below. There's still some tickets left if you're interested in joining. Okay, the next question we have is from Wendy. How do you feel about nose to tail protein powder?
Never had it.
So assuming that means that it's including organs, desiccated organs. So we have to be careful when it comes to organs, not to have too much because they're incredibly nutrient dense and we really don't need a ton. So I don't know about the protein powder itself and what the, what all's in it, but if it does have organs, I would say I would not recommend it being for daily use if it's got organs, because you really don't need to. You could actually, it could be harmful to have that much.
All right.
It may just have a tiny itty bitty little amount,
Yeah.
Just look and see at the ingredients and see how much it has of that particular ingredient, the organs versus the whatever other type of protein it is.
All right. We're having some good questions tonight. Hashtag life. We're going to be giving away Healing Humanity membership in just a couple minutes if you have any final questions. David said, should I take creatine on the carnivore diet?
I think that's kind of up to everybody individual, right? I mean, it's something you definitely can add in. I've heard, I haven't done it myself, so I don't have a lot of experience with it, so I don't know. But I've heard it's beneficial for building muscle. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I think Coach Lisa takes creatine.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, and she's a big proponent of taking creatine.
I have a good friend who does it as well, and it's what he asked. He said I should start as well, but I haven't looked into it enough. But he does, and he says that's very helpful for him.
Nitsa Perez, please, can you tell me, by doing carnivore, can it help get off all these anxiety medicines? Please, can you answer for me? Thank you.
Potentially, yes.
Yep.
Sounds like a Carrie, you got to answer that one, right?
Can't give medical advice, but Carrie can certainly talk about experience.
Right.
Carrie about experience.
In my personal experience, yes, this has been one of really the only things that has been effective and got me off my anxiety and depression medications. And so many other people too, by the way. We've interviewed hundreds of carnivores by this point between the documentary and the YouTube channel and comments. And yes, and I'd recommend reading the book by Dr. Georgia Ede, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. It's an incredible book. Check out Metabolic Mind too. They've got some great videos on mental health and fixing your metabolic health. So yes, 100%. There is hope for sure. As Dr. Ede says, hope is on the menu. What are your opinion on a carnivore diet for those with a history of breast cancer? I've asked a number of carnivore platforms, but it seems no one will ever address it. Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's people who have cancer who are healing on the carnivore diet.
Yes.
So, one of the things that I hear people talk about, like, what about for this particular body part? Is it okay? We have one diet that's healthy for our whole body, for every single body part. We don't have like one body part that needs a different diet. And, our gut may be good with carnivore, but our breasts as women needs to be vegetarian. It doesn't work that way. Our bodies need the one diet, and it is a tremendously anti-inflammatory diet. So, I would say find videos online. To me, personal testimonies mean so much. So there's videos online of people who have healed their cancer through a carnivore diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. One of the first ladies I met at one of our meetups here locally in DFW, she has been cancer-free now for, I believe it was 4 years. Had actually been through 2 battles with breast cancer, and it's just absolutely thriving. And she is fantastic. She preaches it and shouts it from the rooftops. I don't think she has a YouTube channel or anything else like that, but I will say, just from talking with her, she's had some amazing results.
Yeah. I mean, glucose is fuel for cancer cells.
Yeah.
And so if you can be on a carnivore diet where you're not feeding we all have cancer cells. Our bodies, all of us, our bodies produce these cells. We need to not feed them. And so a carnivore diet is ideal for not giving the cancer cells the fuel that they want.
Right.
You're starving them.
Good stuff. All right. Better Bushcraft asks, I have chronic muscle tension, stiffness, and anxiety. Does carnivore help muscle stiffness, fascia, etc.? I have started carnivore day 3 so far.
Yay.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely. My body pain went away pretty quickly. I don't think you guys had the same experience, right? You just, because it's lowering inflammation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the breaking the fascia, to break that up or loosen it up. There's a lot of really good videos on YouTube. Specifically, there's a couple of it's a team of physical therapists on a channel called Bob and Brad, and I would definitely
I love them.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going to their channel. They're probably going to have lots of videos on how to loosen up the fascia and work with stuff like this. And I put some of this stuff into practice when I had issues with my shoulder and all that, and it's phenomenal. It really works, and it's stuff that you can do right at home too.
Yeah, and once the inflammation goes down, it's easier to tackle the problem with the fascia, because when you're still inflamed, man, it hurts to try to get work done on the fascia. And the anxiety, we definitely talked about a few minutes ago, that the anxiety definitely will get better.
Yep.
Anthony Haydick, our good friend. I'm one of those healing against cancer on carnivore. So go check out Anthony Haydick. He's got a great YouTube channel. He's on social media as well. And he went jumping out of an airplane, I heard yesterday.
Yes.
So he's living his life to the fullest. He's got a great YouTube channel. So
and Anthony's healing from a cancer that really doesn't have treatment and was given a terminal diagnosis, a couple of years ago?
Yep.
And he's thriving. And fellow Washingtonian.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, we're getting towards the end of the hour. We're going to do the drawing for the Healing Humanity membership for 30 days. If you lose out and you don't win the membership, there's a promo code below, Life825, where you can get 50% off your first month. Before we do the final drawing, you guys got any big things coming up on your YouTube channels or any announcements you'd like to make?
Oh, I will share. Let me just grab them here. My books. So I've got these books published. I think I've mentioned this last week, but I'll show them again. The Breaking Addictions. Oh, and Adam has his copies. So this is, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to necessarily claim this, but I think that this is the only 12-step program for carnivore and ketogenic lifestyle. I think
so.
Yeah. So this is a 12-step program based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, but it is specifically for a ketogenic and carnivore lifestyle. And so it's different than Overeaters Anonymous, because we don't have to worry so much about restrictive. Like if anyone's who've been involved in OA, it's all about restricting food. And so with this also, we have the groups on Healing Humanity Life, where you can actually be involved in a group. But if you want to go through this on your own, you can, and the workbook is optional, and each of them are only $10, so it's super affordable, and they're available on Amazon.
And they're very easy to order. I just ordered my copies yesterday, so I'm going to have them here soon. I'm looking forward to it. So
nice.
And congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of hard work went into those for sure.
It's such an important thing too. Addiction, such a big part of this for so many people. I know myself included. So
yeah.
Yep. I have to shout out the healinghumanity.movie/events. That website is where we post everything that's coming up. And so anything that we add as far as future meetups, and even some of the non-Healing Humanity meetups, we've got information on those. So Carnivorous Grandma Robin has one, I think it's next weekend in Michigan. And we've got another little one in Dallas coming up at the end of September. We've got anything that we hear about that's going on. We're trying to keep the community posted up on there. And as soon as we add anything more for Healing Humanity, we will add those there. So stay tuned and keep paying attention to that website there.
all right, here we go with the giveaway. #Life Healing Humanity 30-day membership. goes to Bev.
Bev.
Congratulations, Bev. You have won a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. Adam, how can Bev claim her prize?
Well, Carrie, Bev can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you your code for your free month access promptly. Congratulations.
And if I may, I want to really, really quickly grab one question super fast that I see there from Callie Lisa about the gallbladder attacks with carnivore, with its fattiness. Will it set me up for more gallbladder attacks? I just really quickly back off on the fat and then ease into it more. So you're just probably going too fast on the fat, but once you're adapted, your gallbladder should be fine. If you've been low fat for quite a while, it's just probably stimulating your gallbladder to actually work. And so you need to back off. So I wanted to quickly address that so we can give her an answer.
Good stuff. Thank you. Well, thank you all for your questions tonight. We really appreciate it. Again, we got a big week coming up next week. Wednesday, we'll be on with the amazing Dr. Ken Berry, premiering our trailer for Healing Humanity. So we hope you guys will join us over there with Dr. Berry. And then the day after, Thursday, we'll have our regular Thursday night Q&A like we're having tonight. So hope to see you guys then. Thank you, everyone, for coming on and asking all of your great questions. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.